Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the world's most powerful nation has simply disappeared. Its cities are abandoned, its government has collapsed, its borders no longer exist, and its enemies are walking through its capital. Now imagine that this nation once ruled nearly half of the known world for centuries. It built roads that are still used today, created laws that shaped modern governments, and commanded armies that seemed completely unstoppable. So how did the Roman Empire, the greatest superpower of the ancient world, fall? Was it defeated by barbarian invasions? Was it destroyed by corruption from within? Or was its collapse something that had been building for centuries? Today we are going to uncover the fascinating story of how the Roman Empire fell, what truly caused its decline, why historians are still debating its collapse nearly 1,500 years later. Before we understand Rome's fall, we need to understand just how powerful it became. At its height around 117 AD, under Emperor Trajan, the Roman Empire stretched from modern-day Britain all the way to the borders of the Middle East. It controlled vast territories, including parts of Europe, North Africa, and Asia. Nearly 70 million people lived under Roman rule, making it one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. Rome was not just large, it was wealthy. Merchants traded silk from China, spices from India, gold from Africa, and wine from Italy. Its roads connected thousands of kilometers of territory, allowing armies and goods to move quickly. Its military was one of the most organized and disciplined forces in history. To many people living at the time, Rome seemed eternal. The Romans themselves even called it the Eternal City. But beneath this greatness, the first cracks were already beginning to appear. Imagine trying to manage a company with offices spread across multiple continents, without phones, email, or the internet. That was the challenge Roman emperors faced. The empire had become so enormous that communication was slow and difficult. A rebellion or invasion on one side of the empire could take weeks or months to reach leaders in Rome. Eventually, controlling such a massive territory became almost impossible. The empire was simply becoming too big for one government to handle. But size was not Rome's only problem. A much bigger danger was beginning to appear from within. Between 235 and 284 AD, Rome experienced what historians call the crisis of the 3rd century. During this period, more than 20 emperors ruled the empire. Many were assassinated by their own soldiers. Others were overthrown. Some ruled for only a few months before being replaced. Imagine a country changing leaders constantly through military coups. Every new emperor brought uncertainty. The army became more powerful than the government itself. Political stability disappeared, and Rome began weakening from within. The empire that once seemed unstoppable was now fighting against its own internal problems. Another major problem was money. Maintaining a massive empire was incredibly expensive. Rome needed to pay its soldiers, build roads, maintain cities, and defend thousands of kilometers of borders. When tax income was not enough, Roman emperors made a dangerous choice. They reduced the amount of precious metal in their coins. The coins looked the same, but they were worth less. It was like secretly adding water to a bottle of juice while still charging the same price. Eventually, people noticed. Prices increased. Inflation spread. Trust in Roman currency began to disappear. Trade slowed, and many people returned to exchanging goods instead of using money. The economic foundation that had supported Rome for centuries started to crumble. Another famous part of Rome's decline involves the so-called barbarians. The word barbarian was not originally meant as an insult. Romans used it to describe people who lived outside their civilization. These groups included the Goths, Vandals, Franks, Saxons, and Huns. Many of them were not simply violent invaders. Some traded with Rome, others even served in the Roman army. However, everything changed when the Huns began moving across Europe. Their attacks forced many tribes to flee into Roman territory, seeking protection. At first, Rome allowed these groups to settle inside the empire, but poor treatment and broken agreements eventually caused conflict. In 378 AD, the Roman army suffered a devastating defeat at the Battle of Adrianople. For the first time in centuries, Rome appeared vulnerable. The empire that once seemed unbeatable was beginning to lose its strength. One emperor realized that the empire had become too large for a single ruler to control. His solution was to divide it into two parts: the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. At first, this seemed like a practical decision. Two emperors could respond faster to threats and manage their regions more effectively. However, over time, the two halves developed very differently. The Eastern Empire became richer, stronger, and more stable. It had powerful cities, successful trade networks, and greater resources. The Western Empire, however, continued to struggle. Its economy weakened, its political system became unstable, and it relied increasingly on foreign soldiers to defend its borders. The Eastern Empire survived for another 1,000 years, but the Western Empire was slowly running out of time. Then came one of the most shocking moments in history. In 410 AD, the Visigoths entered Rome and captured the city. For nearly 800 years, no foreign enemy had successfully invaded Rome itself. The event shocked the entire world. If Rome could fall, people wondered, could any civilization truly be safe? But the end did not come immediately. The empire was wounded, but it continued struggling for survival. The final collapse came in 476 AD. A Germanic leader named Odoacer removed the last Roman emperor in the West, Romulus Augustulus. He was only a young man. There was no dramatic final battle, no single moment when everyone realized the empire was gone. Instead, the Western Roman Empire quietly disappeared from history. After more than 1,000 years of Roman rule, the Western Empire had come to an end. But here is where the story becomes even more interesting. Did Rome truly fall, or did it simply transform? The Eastern Roman Empire continued for nearly another 1,000 years. Roman laws survived. Roman architecture influenced future generations. The Latin language evolved into languages such as Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian, and Romanian. Roman ideas shaped governments, engineering, culture, and civilization for centuries. In many ways, Rome never truly vanished. Its political empire collapsed, but its influence continued to shape the world. The fall of the Roman Empire was not caused by a single event, but by centuries of growing problems. Political instability, economic decline, military weakness, civil wars, foreign invasions, and overextension slowly eroded the empire's strength. Rather than collapsing overnight, Rome weakened little by little until its fall became inevitable. The story of Rome reminds us that even the greatest civilizations can decline, but their ideas, culture, and achievements can continue to influence the world for generations. The fall of Rome was not the end of its story, but the beginning of its legacy. Though the empire collapsed, its laws, culture, and ideas continued to influence the world for centuries. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating historical stories. See you in the next video.